so that people will be encouraged to live and work in their same community. And I have more, but I think I'll just leave it at that and give you a few minutes to ask me some questions if you like. Yes, sir?
I drive down Oak Avenue all the time. What's Oak Avenue?
Well, that is a sewer project. Near and dear to my heart. I sit on the sewer board representing Citrus Heights. It's my main regional assignment. I voted to do that. I live in the middle of it. Yeah, I know. I live in the middle of it. I live off of Watchtower between Oak and Old Auburn Road, so I'm right in the middle of it. That is a sewer project that is going to wind up this fall. It would be done by now, but last year they had a major problem in that one of the tunnels collapsed, and the boring head that tunnels underground got stuck underground, and it weighs tons. It's huge.
Oh, yeah.
As big as this room. Because those pipes are 15 feet in diameter, and they're down about 50 feet underground. So they had to get through the rainy season and get back to where they could address that situation. So it goes through Citrus Heights and into Orangevale, but it's supposed to wrap up this year, so keep your fingers crossed.
Are they going to widen it too?
Pardon me?
Are they going to widen it?
They're going to repave.
Okay.
Yeah, they're going to repave and restripe, yes. Yes, sir.
On the same project, you started up at Old Auburn and came down to Old Auburn. And are they going to do any repaving of that?
Yes, they are. In fact, the paving that we just experienced on Fair Oaks Boulevard was part of kind of a swap-out deal with the sewer district. But they're going to wait till the project is done because it's cost-effective to come in and do all the repaving and bring it back to a much better state than it is now. It's part of the contract. Yes. Yes, sir.
You mentioned the city has acquired about 15 properties in Sayonara. I've been in real estate a long time, and I remember in the 70s, a former supervisor, Justice Wyman, predicted that our tax dollars would be used to raise those traps, were his words. Question, how many are remaining to be acquired, and why has the city considered eminent domain to acquire the remaining properties and turn it into a nice park?
Well, first of all, it's zoned for residential, so to put a park in would require it to be rezoned. There is a small park as part of our plan for the future. As we develop that community out, we bought one of the key properties is a corner property that will make that amenable to a park, but it's going to be a neighborhood park type. It's not going to be a natural preserve large park. And doing it through eminent domain is as you know, a long and lengthy and often controversial process. We've actually, by waiting, when we've looked at purchasing property there over the last several years, but it's market rate property. It's not Section 8, and it goes for market value. Those units were going for $500,000 to $600,000 a piece, and that's way more than the city has the capability to spend, and then turn around and either rehab or tear them down and build up. We've been buying them on an average of about $200,000. We've also been able to get funding that wasn't available 4 or 5 years ago through grants, federal programs, state programs. None of the money that we've spent on those houses has come out of the general fund. It's all grant money and money that's come to us from the state and federal government. So we've taken a different approach to it than what Sac City and Sac County did through SHRA when they took over Franklin Villa, which is another very, very successful, much larger project in South Sac. It's now called Phoenix Park. And I toured that facility about 3 or 4 years ago and was amazed at what they've done. I didn't even realize it was the same community until I read an article about it in the Bee. And Bonnie Pinnell, the councilwoman that represents that area, was gracious enough to take me out there and show me what they had done, which, you know, Sayonara has kind of been very close to my heart. I've been involved in the community center since its beginning, and I see the lives that are lived out on that street. It's not all crime, you know. So there's some good, decent people there. So eminent domain is not always the best way to go. I think we've been able to accomplish what we can through a different method. We will continue to buy properties that become available. Right now, there are, but we're gonna do it at an affordable price. And we view this as a long-range project. It's gonna be 10 to 20 years before it's completely done. So right now, we are in the process of seeding and landscaping the vacant land. We're just gonna make it appealing to the eye while we plan and determine what we're gonna do in the future to bring housing in there. Yes, ma'am?
I couldn't help but note what you said about traffic.
Yes.
I live on Walktown.
Oh, you're a neighbor.
I live on the Orangevale side though, but
Okay,
I
well, you're still a good neighbor.
had been a resident of Citrus Heights since 1981. The stop signs are as strategically placed as I think they can be. I don't think you can actually put more. But it's a racetrack. Is
Sure.
there maybe speed bumps, anything that can be done to reduce that? Because it's really hazardous on that street.
Yeah, speed bumps are basically the last resort, and not on a major thoroughfare like Watchtown. It's really traffic control, and I've reported it, and of course the police department's very responsive to a council member who reports anything. And they'll sit on the corner of Ponticelli where the stop sign is, and they'll just take them out one after another, or at Olivine. And I have to be careful because I happen to have a heavy foot. and I use Olivine, like so many people, to cut through to Oak Avenue. And I try to be a good citizen. And in Citrus Heights, I do absolutely drive within the speed limit because they will ticket me, anybody who's speeding. But that's really the answer, is really traffic control. That's not, the way that street is just not a good candidate for speed bumps. If those stop signs were put in when we were still part of the county, and if I had to do it myself, I wouldn't have put it at Ponticelli, I would have put it at Patalo, because that's a terrible blind intersection. If I have to turn left, I live on the Patalo Way side of that little development there. I zigzag through and come out Ponticelli because there's a stop sign, because you can't see traffic coming from the right because it's a hill and an S-turn. So, that's the best answer I can give you right now. Yes, ma'am.
I'm a member of the American Legion in Citrus Heights, and I know they've been talking sort of about trying to get a veterans-only building in Citrus Heights. I don't even know if that's been discussed, if you know anything about it, or...
Well, we actually are providing a place for the veterans in our newly remodeled Trellis Hall. And I believe the veterans of foreign wars and the American Legion are meeting there.
Yeah, that's where we meet.
Yeah, and we're providing
Right.
that.
And that's what someone here responded, well, they're letting us meet here, that's what this is for, and then someone else was like, well, yeah, but every other community has a veterans-only hall, and they're like, well, where would we put it, and, this and that, so I don't know.
At this time, I don't know that there are any plans. There is a property that's been, and I can't identify it for you because it's not public information yet, but there is a property that's been offered to the city within that could serve that need if we choose to